Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to see you. I just wanted to say a few words about ongoing climate change negotiation in Copenhagen. As you may know, I'm going to go to Copenhagen and open high-level segment of this meeting on December 15th. We have come a long way in just 2 years' time. But what we do now, over the next 2 weeks in Copenhagen, will determine how we fare. This will be crucially important for the future of humanity and even for the planet Earth. Now we must sprint across the finish line. I'm encouraged and I'm optimistic. I expect a robust agreement at the Copenhagen summit meeting, and that will be effective immediately and include specific recommendations on mitigation, adaptation, finance, and technology. This agreement will have an immediate operational effect as soon as it is agreed. Copenhagen can and must be the turning point in the world's efforts to prevent runaway climate change and usher in a new era of green growth for all. From all corners of the globe, we see unprecedented momentum for a deal. More than 100 heads of state and government, to be exact, 105 as of now, including President Barack Obama of the United States, Premier Wen Jiabao of China, and the Prime Minister Singh of India, all have said they will go to Copenhagen to provide their support for a global agreement. Never have so many different nations of all size and economic status made so many firm pledges together. We must seize this moment and continue pushing for still higher ambition. We are united in purpose, and now is the time for action, united in action and results. Thank you very much.
Mr. Secretary General, I'll be honored to be joining you in Copenhagen, but I would like to ask you, what constitutes, in your opinion, success? I mean, we all know we're not going to have a legally binding agreement, but what is your measure of success, and how much shadow this email scandal has thrown upon this event?
First of all, on this email scandal, so-called climate gate, I'm not a scientist, and I don't pretend to be one. I base my decisions on the best scientific evidence and information. As you know, the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, has released their fourth assessment report in November 2007 in Barcelona, and that is what I did at that time. Nothing that has come out in the public as a result of the recent email hackings has cast a doubt on the basic scientific message on climate change. And that message is quite clear, that climate change is happening much, much faster than we realize, and we human beings are the primary cause. And for a criteria of the success, first of all, we have to have an ambitious mitigation target, midterm mitigation target by the developed countries, where developing countries also should take nationally appropriate mitigation actions, ambitious actions. That will be important. Second, the important element will be financial support by the developed countries to developing countries in their efforts to mitigate and adapt to this climate change impact. Now, we are having some convergence opinions among the leading countries, both developing and developed, that we will agree on $10 billion short-term fast-track facilities for developing countries over 3 years until 2012. For a mid and longer-term financial support package that we will continue to discuss in Copenhagen and beyond. Then thirdly, there should be a very strong adaptation packages for developing countries. And finally, we need to agree on a global framework to manage and deploy all the resources. Those are the hallmark of the success of climate change. I'm encouraged that the negotiation is proceeding reasonably well with the full participation and sense of flexibility and compromise. When the leaders from all around the world gather on 17th and 18th in December, I'm sure that they will be united to take necessary action.
One more question. One more question on
climate. Oh, sure.
Yes.
No, has Ethiopia's Prime Minister, Meles Zenawi, has he indicated to you, we've heard that you've spoken to him weekly by video conference, he represents the African Union, is the $10 billion enough? They've threatened to walk out if not sufficient funds are committed. What's your sense of on how that issue is going to play out?
As you know, I and together with the Prime Minister Rasmussen have been engaging in weekly video conference with major stakeholders on this climate change, particularly the representatives of most vulnerable countries, including African Union and small island developing countries. And we are going to continue to do that as we did in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the idea of short-term fast-track financial support idea is supported by developing countries. We had the very in-depth discussions on this issue during our meeting in Commonwealth Summit meeting in Trinidad and Tobago. As you know, this 53 member state Commonwealth adopted a consensus declaration where this financial support, the fast track support, was agreed by all the member states, including a provision that 10% of this $10 billion will be provided to small island developing countries. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have to attend this Security Council. Thank you.
Iraq bombing, Mr. Secretary General, the Iraq explosions today.
I am very shocked, and I condemn in the strongest terms possible. This is just unacceptable. The horrendous terrorist bombing against the civilians, this must be stopped. And my spokesperson will issue a formal statement on this. Thank you very much. Yeah.